Thank you for joining me in the Fassst Lane, people. You know what this is. You living legend, Jay Mack. Follow the link. Join the movement. Become legendary. Now, this is October 5th. Now, I was in a hotel in the rear inspecting metal. What for? I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if it's the metal being used in the building or maybe metal. I don't know what the metal was for. And I was inspecting it. Oh, all right. Then I went to the other side of the hotel to look at the gas tank for the restaurants to make sure they they meet the requirements to hold gas, because these were like 300-pound tanks, so I had to go inspect it. I guess I was an inspector. So I inspected those. They were in groups of 3 and 2 of different sizes. All right, yeah. Because the restaurant has it needs to prepare a lot of food because the hotel is big. So I guess they were 3 sets of the big ones and 2 small ones. The 2 smaller ones were probably the backup. For some reason, I scraped metal rust with gloves. And they add acid to test the metal. Yeah, some of them had, like I said, for some reason, I scraped metal, which is rust from the gas tank, into my hand, and I put acid on it to test the metal. Why I would do that in my hand, I don't know. Anyway, the fumes choked me, and I tried to take the glove off, but could not. I tried to move from the fumes, but could not. I started coughing, but the fumes could not get down my throat. The beast is busy. The beast is not playing. Now here I am doing my job, apparently in the dream. It was used against me. Now, the red flag in this is me testing the metal in my hand with acid. I did that to myself. I should have known better. So I took that as a sign that maybe I'm doing something that is allowing the beast to have access. Maybe I'm doing something that I know I shouldn't be doing. Now, I tried to find out what it is I could be doing. But then I realized that was to sow doubt. So I had to rebuke this dream. I had to rebuke me not making wise decisions, making bad choices. And now that you mention it, my being angry and responding with anger to my circumstances is probably what is making things worse. Because when you're angry, you don't think straight. Because that's the only reason why I would test metal in my hand with acid. And while doing this video just now, it came to me like, anger eats you. And what does acid do to your skin? Eat it. It's a good thing I followed my mind and did this video. So I realized I've got to control my temper and watch how I respond to things. So I thank God for that insight. Even though the dream was bad, it was still good. I just had to decipher it. So I had to learn to control my temper. And not allow people and circumstances especially to cause me to lose my temper. Because it's going to choke me just like the fumes. But thank God, thankfully, even though it was choking me and I was coughing, it couldn't get down my throat. So that let me know that the way I handle things, the beast is using that against me. I have become my own enemy and therefore in the employ of the beast against my own self. So you know I have to go to fast for that. And I thank God for opening my eyes to that. So that's an example of a good, bad dream being a good dream once you decipher it. All right, September 6, 2019. I saw a man and two children, a man and a woman with two children. He gave them a microphone and they licked it. I guess they thought it was ice cream. Then the scene changed from a city setting to a country one. Then the man and his two children were swallowed up by the earth, or they went into the earth. I went to investigate, and a crab jumped on my thumb, and another bit me, or tried to bite me, and it was huge. And it was in the spot where the man and his children went into the ground. The crab kept grabbing, pulling on my thumb. Finally, it let go and disappeared when my lady came by. Oh, that is a woman of God. So I took that as a good sign. But I didn't like this dream at all. Because I saw a man with his family. It looked innocent, but the fact that they licked the ice cream, the child, the children licked the microphone as if it was an ice cream caught my attention. Excuse me. And as you can see, the scene changed from city to country just like that. Now I have to wonder if this man could be behind, or could be one of the people behind my being in the situation I'm in. And I feel that it is. Because, first of all, the thumb grabbed me, bit me, the crab bit me. I had to go on a fast for that. Because, crabs are bottom feeders. So the fact that the bottom feeder bit me in a crazy dream, to me, is not a good thing. So I had to rebuke that. Then there's an attack from a giant crab. But I like how when my lady came, the crabs disappeared. And I thank God for the good in that dream, and I rebuke the evil in that dream on many levels. Because especially with the earth just swallowing them up, or they went into the earth. That I didn't like. So I wondered if these are people who I trust, who I know and trust, or knew and trusted, that did this. So I had to rebuke that aspect of it when I thought about it. Then I had another dream, but I couldn't remember it. Yeah, so I had to rebuke it. The dream, I rebuked the dream and the intent, and the fact that I had it and couldn't remember it. That's a very serious sign, ladies and gentlemen, that you're under heavy demonic attack. To know you had a dream and can't remember it. Now, I always ask God to help me remember it when I forget it. But then I still write it down and record it. And rebuke it. Just in case if I can't remember it. You can't be too sure, people. Well, anyway, I'm on October 7, 2019. I had sex with an overrated chick. She was demanding. She was like a bag of old potatoes. And I put, you almost had me. You almost had me. You couldn't. Now, I don't understand what that meant. I'd stop. Yeah, I'd stop because the girl had a horrible attitude. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to put up with this. And that's when I woke up. Of course, I had to rebuke that and go on a fast. So, having sex in a dream means poverty. In addition to that, sex means covenant. So, I'm making a covenant with poverty. And covenants are no joke, ladies and gentlemen. So, I went on the fast because I'm not getting reinstated. That dream is about reinstatement. Not a day like it. It's October now. From April till October, I don't have no time to go back. It's only forward movement. I'm in my 18-wheeler on the highway. I'm trampling the beast, and anything to get my way to get to where I want to be. On October 10th, 2019, it's 11 minutes, I get time. I was in church with a friend of mine and his daughter. I had taken a red and black drop cord to church. The church had many odd angles to it, and at certain corners you could not pass but had to go around to get where you had to go. I had left the drop cord at the church and had to go back, and I saw a friend of mine and two other people I know. A tall son and her two children. I also saw my neighbor's son and her two children. I have no idea what this dream is about. I was in church. I was with I don't know if I was at my friend's church or he was at my church or whatever the case was, and he had his daughter with him. I don't know why I would need a drop cord in church. But what I didn't like are the odd angles. But that's not a good dream. So I thank the Lord if this dream was of him. And I came in agreement, whatever it is, in the dream, if it was for me, and it was good. And I rebuked what was it. I rebuked those angles. And I rebuked the fact that because of the angles, you couldn't move freely. You had to go around, which in the church shouldn't be. That was my main issue. Plus, I'm real cognizant of fire hazards because I did a course in college. It wasn't really a course for credits, but about fire and fire hazards. And I didn't realize there's so much things you take for granted that you see it so much as a child, you don't see it. But there are things that are supposed to, when a building is being built, there are codes to building for a reason. Like, take for example, in order to pass, there should be enough space between your house and a wall, a fence, with enough space for you to pass through more than shoulder width for you to be able to run down. So when I see people build houses right next to their fence, I'm like, who approved that? That's against the code. But hey, every country, every city, every state has their own codes. But I was just made aware of the ease of passage in a building and its environment. So when I saw these angles, sharp angles, and how it made it difficult to move, I couldn't figure out that was a good church. I don't know if that was a real church or a warning from God about going to a certain church. Whatever it was, the difficulty in having to pass because of those angles, I had to pray and rebuke that. Because that is causing you to not be able to move freely. That's a sign of regression, stagnation, backwardness. and causing you have to go around. It's causing you to waste time. Anyway, it's been over 15 minutes. Now, these people, I know one of them. Well, it's the 3 people in the church. I know one of them for sure. The other 2, I know them, but I couldn't figure out who they were, which to me was a red flag. Then I saw my neighbor and her son, plus 2 other children. I don't know who they were. I don't know what that was, so I had to rebuke all of that. But I still thank God just in case, if it was good, because I got to see people who I haven't seen in a while, and I saw them in the dream. But you could never be too sure, so I rebuked it also. Anyway, thank you. It's been over 15 minutes. I'll catch you on the next one. You know what this is. Your favorite living legend, Jay Mack for the Fassst Lane. Goodbye.